I was just exercising before this, so I do look a bit like a wet dog, but let's just move past that. Hello everybody, I'm Roxy, this is recmebook, and today I want to talk to you about my 2020 goals. It's a bit of a wrap up, but most importantly, I want to tell you about my many projects for 2021. So let's begin. 2020 was a good reading year for me. I think since 2018 or so, I've been having better and better reading years. I discover new favorites every year. I discovered great new authors, great new nonfiction and literature. I become obsessed with new things. So it's just, I'm very optimistic about the whole thing. And I've also read a lot. I set up my Goodreads, now the Storygraph goal, to 100, which I think is a cool number. It balances out all the novellas and poetry collections and plays that I read with the big books that I also wish to read. So I think 100 is a nice number. Then my most ambitious project that I'm not sure how well I'll be doing by the end of the year, but I am still going to film a wrap up for that one, is Curious Readers Curious Adventures Nonfiction Challenge, which is Natalie's challenge. I'll link the announcement down below for reading more nonfiction. She's not doing that next year because she's doing Invisible Cities. I'll get to that later on, but I liked it. It did help me. I really enjoyed, especially thinking of the local specialty over celebrity, which at the beginning of the year seemed like the hardest thing ever, and now I own so many books that would fit that challenge. It's kind of hard to pick which one I'm going to wrap up. So that's exciting. I also participated in many more reading events, which was partly due to the quarantine, I must admit, but it was still part of my goal to engage more in the booktube community, and I've done that. I've also engaged more in the Bookstagram community, although it is not my priority. I've still had a lot of fun doing that. So yeah, that has been really great. The channel has grown a tiny bit, and I'm so excited about that because I've been uploading at least once a week every single week since January, and I'm so proud. I am filming a tag video where I go into the reasons why I said I was going to stop, or like go into a kind of hiatus, and then I didn't. On the contrary, I started prioritizing the channel. There is a whole thing coming about that, so watch out for that. But yeah, I'm very proud that I've been posting consistently. I also joined Buddy Reads, which was a first for me. I really enjoyed them, I find. Plus, I've been doing the Ideal Month project, which is something that started out on my blog, which is now on hiatus, and there is more coming on why that is. But if I read at least 7 books every month, which is my minimum, just realistically, it's something I've observed. Even when I was very, very pressured with college reads, I still read at least 7 books, so that's fine. And I thought, okay, so if I have 7 books, these are the ones that I would love to be. I did that, and it was very chill. I didn't complete it every single month, but I did find that when I didn't know what to read and I noticed that I hadn't fulfilled one of the prompts, it was like, okay, it's time to pick up a play, make some time to sit down and read a play from cover to cover, and I really enjoy that. I did wrap-ups for that up until I think July. I've kind of abandoned that website because I'm doing another thing that I will be launching sometime, hopefully soon. Yeah, it's kind of abandoned, the wrapping up of it, but I've continued checking the boxes on my own, which is okay. You don't need to showcase every single thing you do. Going forward, what do I want to accomplish? So I've divided the things into community-based projects and personal. Just on the channel, I just want to keep uploading 1 video every single week. That works for me. And if there are bonus videos, that's fine, but I'm not going to raise the bar more. I will be partaking in Reading Latinas, link down below, so and in the eye as always, so you can check that out. I also need to read for my podcast, which is Pluma Pantalla. It's a podcast in Spanish, so if you speak Spanish, you can check that out as well. We read 2 books per month, give or take. Then I have the Invisible Cities project. I'll link Natalie's announcement down below because that's the one I watch all the time. I know there are a bunch of other people involved, and I do follow some of them, but it's just too many people to link all the time. Please check all of them out. Natalie links them all. But that's basically reading books from authors from 3 different countries every single month. I am not 100% sure that I'm going to make it my top priority because I have some other personal challenges challenges that are more tied to like my personal pleasure, but I am going to try, and I am going to film a wrap-up for the books that I read specifically for Invisible Cities. The light is completely fading. I think I am going to have to turn on that light. Okay, let's do that. Better, not significantly, but I'll take it. Oh, I'm doing something really cool that I'll be announcing, but just so you know, it's the Gilmore Girls novel pairings reading project. So basically the hosts from Novel Pairings did a blog post where they paired books to specific Gilmore Girls characters, and this is really basic book core of me, but I love Gilmore Girls. In any case, the pairings, one, are so spot on. Second, they are really, really good classics. And in fact, a lot of them I already owned and wanted to read. Some of them I've already read, but I wouldn't mind rereading. So I'm going to be doing separate videos for those as well. I don't know how my wrap-ups are going to be. I think, spitballing here, I'm going to mention those books and whether I like them or not. Just that, and maybe like a quick synopsis, which I'm terrible at. I'll try to correct that, and then I will link to those wrap-ups. I think that's the way to go. I don't know, let me know your thoughts down below. Then, oh, I put down my name to become a Book2 Prize judge. I don't know when this will be up, so maybe by the time this is up, I will have been confirmed as a judge. I wrote down my name to be a non-fiction judge to the Book2 Prize because I feel like the non-fiction picks are always really strong and it's something I'd really like to be involved in. So yeah, I put down my name. Then in January and February, I'm going to be doing a few favorite things reading initiative, for which I'm going to post an announcement. It's not a readathon, it's a reading initiative. I'm going to link it down below once it's up, but it's basically me trying to start the year on the right note. Then in March there is the Irish Readathon and Marching Mammoths. I have a couple mammoths that count for the Irish Readathon. I don't know if this is happening again, but I remember that we had Springathon. Was that in April or May? But if they do Springathon again, I would love to participate even more than I did before. Then in July we have the Jane Austen July. I expect to have read all of Jane Austen's novels. I only need to read Mansell Park, and I would focus on rereading Emma perhaps, and then just reading the Jane Austen nonfiction that I own, which is not a lot. But yeah, that's how I would participate in Jane Austen July. Perhaps watch a couple adaptations. I don't know if the reading rush is happening and how it's happening, and I don't even know if I will be able to partake because a lot of stuff might be happening in July. I don't know if they will happen in July or in August, so it really depends. But you know, if I'm available for it, I would still participate. August is really important. It's Women in Translation Month. I really love doing that this year, and I'm going to keep it up. Then we have the History Challenge, which happened for the first time this year. I don't know if it's happening again next year, but if it is, I will totally do that. Then October we have Victober. Then November we have Nonfiction November, which it's my favorite readathon. And then I am just going to be doing buddy reads. Now let's go on to the personal reading projects, which are just as exciting by me, for me, thinking about myself only. I'm still doing the ideal month thing, but I've revised it. So instead of previous categories, which were classic, contemporary fiction, in translation and or in Spanish, essay collection or bio or memoir, non-fiction, poetry collection or play, and a reread, I am going to be doing in translation, originally in Spanish, so I'm splitting those, an anthology, which can be fiction, non-fiction, poetry, whatever, just an anthology, meaning by different authors. That's the important part. An essay or a short story collection, and a poetry collection or play, a nonfiction book, and a classic. I am so excited about this list. This is really my ideal month as it stands right now. I am not going to be wrapping up this like for the channel because I think that would be a bit too much. Of course, all the books that I read, I will still wrap up. It's just that I'm not going to wrap those books up separately the same way that I expect to do with the Invisible Cities project books, if that makes sense. If I manage to do this every month, I would be so pleased. Then I'm going to do the 5 big books that I want to read in 2021. I will link it down below. Then the number, I'm going to keep 100 books on the story graph. I just like that challenge. I don't know why. I guess because the year I didn't set a goal on Goodreads, it didn't show me the statistics, which I guess the story graph doesn't, so I might not need it. But still, it's nice to feel accomplished. So I will put 100 books. I think it's nice. And then I'm also been thinking about Natalie's own personal goals for 2021. I will link her video down below so you can check it out. And she talks about following the path or going down the rabbit hole, which I think I have been doing this year. For example, with all the music books and the campus novels for December. I think I've allowed myself that. But I want to make it more explicit in a way. Like I want to say it and put it out in the universe, because I do feel my mind operates like that sometimes, where I've read something and it's like I need more info. Sometimes I depart from what I've been telling everyone I'm going to be reading, and that's fine. The world won't end if I do it. I thought, okay, if I'm going to do that, do I still want to do the TBRs? Yes. One, because I love crafting TBRs, but also because I do feel I need the structure when I am not going down any rabbit hole. So for example, during Nonfiction November, when I wasn't sure what I was going to pick up, it was easy to look at certain bundles that I had created and pull out a couple of books and show them on my Bookstagram and poll people on which one I should read. That was really cool. And although I allowed myself a lot of freedom, which you will have seen if you watch my Nonfiction November wrap-up, link down below, having that structure did help almost as much as just following certain paths helps too. So I think I just want both. I want it all. I want to do whatever I want. That's all I have to say on that. And the last project that I'm so excited for, it's kind of a riff between structure and doing whatever I want and playfulness. It's just that I've been thinking about how I want to engage with my own books. I want to engage with my shelves in more playful ways. Also, multi-read within reason and leave a bit of mystery within my TBR, let's say. I'm doing a TBR jar, woohoo! Instead of doing like a huge TBR jar with all the books that I own or that I would like to read in 2021, which would never work for me. I tried once, it really didn't work. What I'm going to be doing is a monthly TBR jar. So all the books that I need to read for the podcast, that I need to read for the Invisible Cities project and the body reads, and the books that I want to read are going to go in a jar, and I'm going to show it during my TBR. And I'm going to do my TBR as I always do, and they're going to be differently colored, plus a special color for the books that are for project that I should be prioritizing, and I'm going to be pulling them out during the month. And then at the end of the month, when the time comes to do the next TBR, I'm going to reevaluate if the papers that are still on the jar that I didn't get to that month get to stay, or I want to move on. So I'm so excited about that project. I know it sounds a bit complicated, but once you see it and we get in the groove of things, you'll totally get how it works. I am just very excited. I think it's going to be a super cool project, and it also is going to keep my books fresh. And I also just think it's a fun project to film. So I hope you'll be looking forward to these things next year. I know it's a tall order and it's a lot, but as they are distilled into videos and occasions and dates, it will be much more graspable. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe and comment what are your reading plans for this year, and or are you particularly excited to see me fulfill any of these goals. As the year is drawing to a close, there are still a couple of videos that I need to upload before the year ends, but still, this is one of the last ones. Thank you for subscribing. This has been a really intense year for all of us, but I'm very happy with the fact that I've been able to engage more with the community, which was something that was really hard for me when I first started this channel. Thank you for being here. Thank you for commenting. People comment really regularly and they make recommendations and suggestions, and we talk about the books, and it's amazing. Keep it up, and I'll try to do the same. And yeah, see you next time. December is a very chaotic month. These months have all been very chaotic, but December is like chaos level up to here. So I'm trying to film whenever I can, as much as I can, which you'll totally be able to tell